It's the new CT1. Right, let me get this under here. And then just mark the wall. All of a sudden, wow! Right, what are you up to out here?
Just slicing my fingers open.
Slicing your fingers open?
I'm building this little circuit board.
He's done something wrong. What have you done wrong? Welcome to a new vlog. It's turfing out day. They're all getting ready. Well, some of them are.
My Felicia.
For going. It's a beautiful day. They're all heading to a park. My family we're talking about, they're all off home. You look ready. In your stitched t-shirt, ready for going home? So, if you didn't see our last vlog, we have now purchased an Elddis Autoquest motorhome. 155. So we are going to be doing that up today. We've got some...
Well, not doing it up, we're just...
Not doing it up, we're upgrading. Yeah, we've got 2 more solar panels to put on today. Then to see where the batteries are going. He's my dad. He's just sorting the cars out, putting all the luggage in the cars.
Shoes, what are they taking?
Shoes, what are they taking?
I'll put others in the bag here.
So we're going to crack on with that, the upgrades, solar panels and the batteries. What have you done to your legs, by the way?
I fell off a treadmill.
You fell off a treadmill?
Yeah.
What were you doing on a treadmill?
I don't even know. Well, I don't know. I talked to my friend and I just slipped.
You slipped?
Yeah.
Well, what do you think, Uncle Nick? That just shows you don't bother with exercise. It's bad for you.
Shouldn't be on a treadmill at your mate's house.
Why not?
Well, exactly, why not? Just be careful next time.
Grown-ups.
Right, so the family have gone home now, where they're going to a park actually, where some things are going off. So welcome to the new vlog. Nick is just cracking on with the solar panel installation. I'm just going to show you around Elvis again. So we're calling our new motorhome Elvis because it's an Elddis. It's Elvis the Elddis. Elvis Van Presley. AI came up with it actually. I was asking it for names, which sort of like went with the name Elddis, and it came up with Elvis Van Presley, and it stuck. First we were like, oh no, I don't like Elvis, but it stuck, and that's what we're going with. So if you didn't see the last vlog, I'm just going to show you around quickly. It is a bit of a mess inside there because we're doing some upgrades, but I'll show you. The floor is already filthy. I'm just going to take my shoes off though. And this is the state of it at the moment because this is where we're putting like batteries and things. We're just upgrading it so we can be off-grid more. And I don't mean sort of like going to lay-bys and stuff. I mean we do sometimes, but even when we're going to like fields and CLs and farms and things like that, a lot of them don't have power. So we want to make sure that we can have power for a couple of days like we did do when we were down in Stratford on Avon the other day. So that is the lovely living area that we've got now. The flies in here. Bloody hell, it's a massive fly. Obviously when we're using it properly, we've got all these fly screens everywhere, which I will be making use of. Hopefully that fly gets out. Get out. So that's the lovely living area that we've got. We've still got all the plastic on. We're not going to take that off until we're ready to go. We get some throws or something to protect them. The cab area is all open, as you can see. Lots of nice natural light coming in. The 2 chairs, captain's chair, swivel round to make a really nice living area here. A bit of a social area. Just in case you get friends and stuff on sites and invite them around for a drink. I mean, we haven't so far, but you never know. We do meet up with people out and about with friends like Lisa and Aid and stuff. And in Taylor, you could invite them in, but you can invite them in and be more comfortable in Elvis. So at the moment, we've got Taylor and Elvis. Taylor is our old van, which we are looking at selling. Fridge, oven, gas burner, 3 gas burner, Nick out there, and electric. Nice big wardrobe. Our table's in there. And just get all this cleaned. Nice big wardrobe for lots of storage under there. Full length mirror, which is going to be great. And then our toilet and shower is in there. So let's get cracking on these solar panels. Right, so these are the eco-worthy 195 bifacial panels that we are putting on. We did originally put them on Taylor, but then when we decided to get Elvis, the motorhome, we took them off Taylor and put the original ones back on, and these ones are now going to go on Elvis. So they're bifacial, so they get the sun from the bottom and the top, so they charge quicker. Nick already put one up last night, and we have room for 2 more.
Just checking the glue. Look, the ants up here everywhere.
Ants, yeah. Nice. We've had ants before in a motorhome or a camper van, so At the moment you can see we've got Taylor here still with her brother Elvis. Hopefully they play nice and they get along together for a while. So yeah, we've got 2 more to put up here.
That's stuck pretty well. When I lift it, it's kind of lifting the roof.
Oh good.
And it's not even 24 hours yet, so the glue underneath
Takes 72 hours to fully dry.
I am going to put a little bit more on these though, because it didn't squidge out as much as I wanted it to.
I'll go get the glue, then I can show you what we're using. As you know, we're big fans of CT1. This is what got recommended while we were building Taylor, and we've used that for sticking absolutely everything. But when we bought Elddis the Motorhome, the guys at the dealer that where we got him said they use this to put things on the roof, and so we thought we'd get that just to use what they use. So we are using that MS60.
Right, so that's the one we put on yesterday. I've still got sealant all of my fingers. The panels are a bit dusty from all the pine pollen. We'll have to just wash the roof when we're done. The cables haven't arrived from Amazon yet. They're going to arrive later, which will allow us to cable them all up. And then I've just put this panel down. As you can see, it's the MS60 glue, which the dealership recommended. And then we're just going to put another one in that gap there and then cable them all up. I can cable everything apart from this one to this one, because the cable between there and there is just not going to be long enough. So I've got a 2-meter cable coming, and then I've got some little cable things that you stick down so we can run the cables nice and neatly.
Right, last solar panel. So a bit of MS60. It's the new CT1. So we're just putting that on there to secure that bracket on.
So just in case these screws ever fall off, at least it'll be held on with the glue. It's on ratchet mode.
And then this is the last one that's going to go up. And then what is it then? Looking at the batteries underneath the bed?
See if they fit, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, make them fit. Right, now we need to glue the spots I've just sanded and then lift the panel on. So we'll do this side first.
Right, last one going on. What a beautiful day it is as well today. If it were all ready, we could just go off in him. But not yet, but soon. So Nick's put all the glue down, and then he's just going to lay the panel onto the glue like this to get it squished into the glue.
It's not lined up.
So that with 3 solar panels we've got up there now, that should be adequate power. 3 bifacial solar panels to get us off grid. So like I say, we're not going to be probably going off grid for a long time, but you never know, and we just like to have that security so we can do. And we like to try all like the Brit stops, which we're going to try around the UK, and the French passions and things like that. So you stay in farms, wineries, stuff like that, and they don't always have, well usually they don't have any facilities, those kind of places. So it's nice that we can just be off grid for a few days. Maybe, how long do you think we'd be able to get off grid with these 3 solar panels and the...
I'm not sure. Longer than in Taylor.
Yeah, so we should be able to be off grid for longer.
Maybe a week.
Yeah, so it is cheaper if you go to these places like French Passion, and if you're in France, and you just go to like a farm and you go to their shop. You've probably seen it on our vlogs before. If not, go check those out from last year. You go to French Passion, they've got a farm shop. You go and buy a bottle of wine or some cheese or whatever, and that's payment for staying on that farm. And then you could stay there for like a week if you wanted to. So in that instance, we need to be off grid. So that's why we need all the extra solar. Right, I'm just catching up on some editing while Nick's inside the van doing some things. He's looking where the batteries are going and things like that. When we got Chinese, when the family were here, there was some left over. My mum left it, so she didn't want it today, so she kind of left it for us. So I'm just going to heat that up for us whilst we're doing a few jobs and things. I'm not, because family's been here, I haven't edited for quite a few days, so I'm just catching up on that. I've got about 7 vlogs to edit from the van trips, so it's nice to be ahead, but I've just got to keep up with it. And it's a lovely, beautiful day. The family have gone down to a local park where there were stalls and things like that. They did ask if we wanted to go, but I really need to get on with this editing, and with our friends coming tomorrow, Nutty Kirsty and Gary, hopefully coming for a cuppa tomorrow. They've never been to the lodge before. That's our friends who we saw when we took Saddle's mum out, and we've been friends with them for 15, maybe 20 years, something like that. When we used to live back in West Yorkshire, we used to meet up more often, and we used to have like house parties and all sorts of stuff like that when we used to live in the old house. So obviously we live an hour and a half away from there now, so we don't always see our friends over that side. So it's just nice to catch up every now and again. So I'm just going to warm this Chinese up. It's a chicken curry with fried rice, and then I'll go and see what Nick's doing when our techies out. Right, let's see what he's up to. He doesn't know that we've got this leftover Chinese. So that's just the stuff from the... Oh, I can hear something. Hello?
Hiya.
Here's your first meal in Elvis.
Ah. Ooh, what is it?
Leftover chicken curry.
I'm just double checking the boiler.
All working
Getting
fine?
to its quirks. Well, it lights and then it goes out and then it lights again.
Is that what it's supposed to do, do you think?
I don't know, but it's done that every time, so I presume so.
Your very first meal in Elvis. I keep wanting to call him Taylor.
I can turn that off because it's successfully tested.
Right, while we're waiting for the solar panels to dry, it'll take 72 hours for that to fully cure. And with it being warm, it's already dry on the visible air side ones anyway, so it shouldn't be too long. But underneath, it needs to bond there and a good 72 hours before we move the van. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put the batteries in. So I'll show you what we got. So these things are eco-worthy batteries, the same brand as the solar panel. They are £419 each, but they're 280 amp hours. One of those is equivalent to what Taylor's got with 3 separate batteries, and we've got 2 of them, so we're proper beefing this system up. So I've charged them. They take 14 hours to charge on a 20 amp charger, and these are all the technical specs if you're looking for a cost-effective battery. We could have gone for like Victron, but you can spend a fortune on brands, and these get really good reviews, so we went for these. But they're lithium. They've got a built-in BMS, so I'll show you what that means. Just gonna grab my phone. So inside the batteries, there are individual like computers that basically manage the voltage. So these are the batteries. So if I can go into each one, and you can see there it's charged to 100%, and then you can click on. I'm going to do this while I'm typing. So you can see individual stats. You can see individual cells. So they're all connected in series in there to increase the voltage to 13 volts. And then on there, so you can see that it's a 280 amp hour. It's currently running at 13.56 volts. There is 279.87 amp hours left, and it's same with the other one. Now, that won't actually give you the definition of what your overall power is. So we've actually got another device that's coming from Amazon tomorrow, which is a Victron shunt, which will basically sit on the 2 batteries, and it'll tell me what power we've got left in them, in effect. But first thing today, we've got to get these things installed under the bed and then somehow mount them to the floor. And they come with these little M8 bolts, so you can actually anchor your battery connectors on it and things like that. Now, I've actually got a box full of all sorts that I've been ordering from Amazon for expanding this, because we're going to connect a lot of things to it. So I'm going to carry one of them out to the van and see what it looks like under the bed. They also come with these little caps to protect the ends of the wires when you've got them connected to the things. So I'll take these rubber stops off and put these in. So we've had these, pretty much I ordered them the minute we knew we were getting Elvis, because we knew when we were doing the sleepless nights as to whether we were going to buy him or not, whether that actually doesn't fit, whether we were going to do some upgrades, and of course we can't not do the upgrades. So I'd already made my mind up which batteries I were going to get. That's not going in fully. I think I might have got a washer missing or something. So it doesn't matter though, because the battery lugs that are going on there will fill that gap. So there we go. And now each one of these, there we go. Each one of these will actually put out 200 amps continually. So you can run it off an inverter once they're working in parallel, and you can add an unlimited number of these together, but I think 2's enough for now. All the products that we bought for this video, we'll put links in the description of all of what they are and where we got them from. I'm going to show you the inverter later. We got that from Renalogy, if that's pronounced correctly. It's a charger inverter, and that has the capacity that the one that in Taylor's got, but it's a bit slimmer, but it weighs an absolute ton. That was on special for £484, a lot cheaper than the Victron one. The Victron one, when we bought that, was about £1,500. So it looks completely different, and it weighs a ton, so we're going to have to anchor these to the floor somehow. Right, let me get this under here. Let me just mark the wall.
Careful.
Right. This is a confined space, I can assure you. So...
And this is where all our storage is. Well, not all our storage, but quite a lot of it. So
what we're going to have to do
is be creative under here.
Is put...
It's a shame there's a wheel there. Oh no, that's not the wheel, is it?
No, that's the gas tank. The wheel arch.
I think it was the wheel arch, yeah. It's the gas tanks there.
So, we have to get 2 batteries and an inverter in this area. And an electrical fuse box, which is coming from eBay on Wednesday.
Where does this chairs and table go for outside?
Here. But I'll be able to build a wooden lid on here.
Yeah.
So you'll have upper storage as well. So I'll create like a stool that goes over the top and bolts down. So, here is where these batteries are going to go. Like that there. Now I've got to be careful because there's gas taps there. So 1 battery there, 1 battery there.
This is what I think of a motorhome build. You'd think it'd like be all boxed off, wouldn't you? Like gas things, especially when it's storage and people are going to be throwing things under here.
I'll make sure it is.
Yeah.
So we've got 2 of these. We're going to connect them in series, I think, or parallel. I can't remember. I'll look at the specs. And then obviously we need to go to Wix because we can't do a van build
without going to Wix.
Without going to Wix, and we will put. Hold on. These things and mount them around the plinth on the floor so they keep secure, and then we'll put straps over them. So 1 here, which will come to about there, and then the inverter down there, and all the rest of the electrics will be in kind of around here. My only concern is we might have to move this consumer unit and move it up 2 or 3 inch because there's a lot of space there for it. Well, actually, it hits that leg. And here's the inverter. So a little bit cheaper than Victron. But weighs just as much, and there's a little control panel in here. I've not even switched this on or took it out of the box yet. I was waiting for Elvis to arrive. So I've got to get this out and see whether this, on its side, will fit in that gap between the gas box and the thing. I don't think it will, looking at it.
Right, Nick's summoned me to come and have a look at what he's done.
I haven't done anything.
I was like, take my shoes off and I'm an Elvis. Hint, hint.
But we have a dilemma.
Ooh, that's got to go in as well.
Oh yes.
Freaking hell, that's all the storage almost taken up.
I've got a solution. Right, so.
And why is this one so much bigger than the one in Taylor?
It's not.
Is it about the same?
Taylor's about that wide and that long.
And it is. It's just we've got a little bit more room in Taylor, haven't we, for stuff?
So, we've got all this space here, which we can't actually use because neither the battery or the inverter will fit there because of this leg.
Yeah.
Okay, so we do have another fuse box coming which can go on the side of that panel there along with a dead switch to turn anything off, on and off. So I'm proposing we put the battery here and here.
Yeah.
And we go to Wix and we build. So this I've moved. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've moved it up so we can get the inverter. If we build up the other side and create a stand and bolt it to the floor, we can then screw the inverter to this and the other side on like CLS wood, so the inverter's raised and it will fit in that gap and it will come to about here, exactly where the batteries will basically finish. Like
It's going to have to be a very good stand, though, isn't it? Because that's well heavy. That's really heavy, isn't it?
Well, what I'll do is I'll put 2 lots of CLS, so not to crush that, but it will sit on the edge of it and we will screw into it. But this gets bolted down. I've moved it. The only problem is when you look in the fuse box, it's slightly off.
Yeah, well, that's fine.
But the door won't move, and I can fix it down in a permanent position afterwards. So the inverter, effectively, with that end, will come this way and it will finish around here. Perfect connection for getting the battery connections in, and then here we'll have a dead switch on and off and the box. But there's a lot of moving and shuffling things around. I mean, luckily it's all like bolt together furniture, so I can take screws out, move it and put it back down again.
Right, we have our trusty tape measure and we are heading to Wix. And
Our first Wix.
we all knew it wouldn't be long before we ended up in Wix once we got a new van.
Yeah, but what we're doing with this is nothing like what we did with Taylor.
No,
Taylor,
totally
we were like
different.
building everything.
Yeah.
We're just changing the batteries to a better battery. and putting solar on. That's it.
Yeah, so we need some CLS1.
CLS wood.
Yeah, CLS wood.
Just to put a standing frame so the inverter can stand on it, and then air can get round all around it anyway.
Yeah. So that's what's the temperature today? Oh, it's only 15. Back at home where my mum and dad live, I think it's going to be 21 today. Said it before, it always gets cooler on the coast. So 15, but it's nice that the sun's out, and
I bet you it's 22 in Beverley.
We've had such a lovely couple of weeks, and it's only been like end of April, and beginning of May, but it's felt like it's summer, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I hope, fingers crossed, it's going to be like that for the rest of the year. It'll be beautiful if it does.
Andy's just messaged me, said he's pissing it down in Cornwall.
Oh, Andy, our friend who gave us that
Coffee,
that lovely coffee. Well, at least we've got the sun for a change. Do you ever experience this? You buy a brand new vehicle, so we got Elvis, and then the other day I was driving behind Nick, and we came on this road, which we've been on many times before.
thousands of times.
And that day they'd put it all down new, what do you call them, like pebble tarmac
gravel
type thing. So we're coming down here, and I knew what Nick had been thinking in Elvis in front of me.
Because you'll be coming here, mate.
And I could just hear these on the car like hitting the car. So
Can't hear it all now, obviously.
No,
Other cars
it's all
have
flattened
rammed it
down now. Always happens when you get a new vehicle. Right, what do we need? What width? 11 centimetres width. What about this one here?
9. Well, that's like a fence post.
Ooh, it's a lot.
It would stand higher.
Right, we found what we think we need. We need that.
Could do
that
with that
long.
length, but thicker.
Thicker. I don't think you're going to get it, I'm afraid.
Right, so we've got a solution. So we're going to use a piece of C16 and then put a plain lid on. So it'll create like a box. So it'll be like a boxed thing on the floor. Now if we can get one of these a bit wider, but no more than 27 wide, then that would be perfect. Right, we're back. And my Amazon parcels have arrived as well. So I'm going to go and use this to connect the solar up, and then do a voltage test inside, make sure it's all working. And then, just to keep the roof tidy, I'm going to put some of these little clippy things down, and I'm going to glue them actually, take the peely backs off, and then cable tie them so all the cables are nice and neat. But these panels now just need leaving, like I said, for a few days. And then also as well, this is turned up for later in the week when we put the sockets on a consumer unit on an MCB and run it through the inverter. And then the wood I will hopefully try and get cut today so we can get the inverter standing.
Right, now it's time to build the frame. Is it a frame or what?
It's a stand.
A stand for the inverter. So
51 it needs to be.
it's nice that the sun's out. It's nice and warm.
Wham.
Nice and warm. 51. Have you got a saw out?
Yep. Round the other side of Elvis.
Two 16cm blocks now.
These are for the ends of the stands. Right. It should fit nicely into place like that. Almost. There we go. I like that.
Perfect.
Right, there we go. Platform built. These will be what's fixed to the inverter, and that just needs anchoring to the floor, which I'm going to do now. And then we've got a little stand. So Gemma can't paint it, but it's going to be under everything.
Yeah,
so
you're not going to see it on there. It's just for that to go on. You won't be able to see it when that's on it anyway.
True. Right, the stand is secured to the floor. The lid's going on. I've run a cable for when we wire the inverter into the sockets. So they'll come out of this port here and run under this conduit and into a consumer unit that's just going to go there. That's coming from eBay. So I can seal this box now because we're never going to get access to this again.
Do you think other people just buy motorhome, pack it with the clothes and go off?
No.
Are you sure?
Well, apart from that couple that were there on Saturday.
I imagine most people do that.
Yeah, but we want to go off for extended
No.
periods, and we want to have lots and lots of power because we've got Starlink and we've got laptops. And the battery that's in this, you can't even run the sockets when you're off grid. You've got to be on a campsite, and we don't want that. So we're just making a few adaptations to give us the ability to do what we want.
Base built and done.
Just need to fasten
All
the invert
plonked
to it.
on there, nicely resting. Job well done.
So that's all that's going in. So we've still got all this space here, and there's going to be a wooden top on here, so there'll be like a gap between the top of the bed and this. But the inverter's in, fixed solid, and the eco-worthy batteries are in. There's some other bits and bats arriving later on in the week, so there's really nothing that I can do now until all the other bits turn up, and then we can finally start wiring it in. And at some point I have to cut into that wire, but I think I'm gonna take it from the input on this socket here, I think, and then there we go. So Lee's just gone to get the furniture from Taylor and see if we can get it in without disturbing anything. And I've moved the pump and moved it up because it was right in the middle of the floor, which was a bit ridiculous, so I've just pushed it up to the edge.
Right, the
It fits.
chairs fit amazingly. I didn't think there were going to be that much room for them because they're quite big chairs. We've got a,
Put the bed down so we know how much height
hang
we've
on,
got.
right. We've got a very big garage area in Taylor, as you've seen, or as you may have seen. But we've got all that, yeah, loads. So yeah, that's a good idea. Get rid of that. So that's all that will be under there, to be fair. Right, there we go.
There's absolutely tons more room. So on top of the batteries, like I said, there'll be a wooden, they'll all be boxed in, those batteries, so you won't ever see it. And then you'll have all this extra space up to the bed height, all this area here, all here. And Lee was worried that we wouldn't have any storage.
Right, that's it for the outside. We're back in the lodge. We're doing a chicken and onion curry with rice because we enjoyed it so much. What my mum got from the Chinese, we just want to replicate our own. You said we've got some peas as well.
Yeah.
Let's stick some peas in it as well.
Right, that's all mixing. So I've added turmeric, some curry powder, mild, some onions and some peas, and it's just frying that with oil. Then the Mayflower's cooking in there, and we're having it with a Tesco basmati rice. It should just taste like a Chinese one, because the Mayflowers can be a bit weak, but I can add a bit of cayenne just to give it a bit of kick, just so it's nice and spicy.
Just missing some prawn crackers.
Oh yeah! Rice has gone in, curry sauce has gone in. There's probably going to be enough for 2 nights here.
I'm hungry, hungry hippo.
Good morning, guys. It's the next morning. We're up bright and early. No, we're not.
You were what?
No, we wasn't. I was.
Up at 8?
You went up at 8?
I was.
You sure?
Anyway, well, last night, talking of sleeping,
I've got hay fever, bearing in mind.
I went to sleep last night.
And bear in mind that Lee sleeps within
fall
30
asleep.
seconds.
Yeah, I fall asleep quite fast.
To a deep sleep.
Like my dad. So I was asleep last night. All of a sudden, row!
That's not quite what it was. I
Something
sneezed.
like that.
I sneezed.
I didn't know what the heck was going off. What did I do? I actually thought, I woke up, I thought the room was spinning around. I thought something had gone off. I thought something, I was like, what's happening? What's happening? And I was panicking. I was like, oh.
Even though I told him I had to sneeze, I'm like, go back to sleep for God's sake, you drama queen.
Yeah, but I'd just been woken up out of deep sleep. I didn't know what the frig was going off. Anyway,
How can you possibly get into a deep sleep after 30 seconds?
just because you can't doesn't mean other people don't.
Takes me an hour to get into a light sleep.
That's
and
because
then
your mind's so active.
Well, it was active last night actually, because I was literally sat on my tablet while he was fast asleep, drawing out where I'm going to put things in the in Elvis. So we're going to say Taylor then. And we've ordered Starlink. because we're going to get a roof-mounted Starlink Mini this time. So it'll a lot easier to. There's no fanning around with power converters or anything like that. It just runs.
When we get rid of Taylor, whoever buys it will get Starlink with it.
Yeah, we'll leave Starlink in there and we'll disconnect it from our account so you can register it with another account, whoever buys it.
Because Nick put it all on the roof, it would have been. We'd have had to break it off, wouldn't we?
And buy another mount.
Yeah, so we thought...
And then clean it up and then put another power converter in. And
so if anybody buys Taylor who has watched the vlogs, they'll get it as they saw it in the vlogs.
You get Starlink,
and all sorts of stuff.
You get everything, basically, that's in there. So today, I am going to go in there. The batteries and the inverter now are secured and they're bolted down. I've still got to order some nylon straps to keep the batteries tucked in, because at the minute they're just in like to stop them from sliding around, but they need holding down in case we go over a bump. So that's my job today. I've got tons of wires. I've got loads of stuff going to an Amazon locker. I've got a Victron shunt so we can tell what the power usage is. There's only so much I can do because I need the consumer unit, which is not coming from eBay until Wednesday. But I can do everything else apart from wire that in. I've got to test all the sockets work fine in Elddis before I start disconnecting things, and then hopefully by the end of today we've got a functioning inverter system. And then when we have, I will disconnect the power leads from the built-in battery that came with Elddis, remove it, and put the connectors onto the new battery leads, and then that will switch the power across to the new system, and we'll keep the battery forever if ever we sell Elddis.
Don't be saying that already.
At some point, it might be 2 years, you never know. So that's me busy today. All the solar now on the roof should be dried, but we're going to leave it another sort of 48 hours just to fully bond and cure. We are going to have to take it back down to the dealer to get them to drill another hole in to put a gland in to get the 2 cables in that we need for Starlink. One for the power and one for an Ethernet cable, and we're just going to get one of those mini travel routers. So as well as doing all that work, when we've done Starlink, we will put a little control panel in, probably inside the wardrobe where you can't see it, because I don't fancy drilling where the current controls are. We'll just open the wardrobe door and it'll be on the wall at the bottom. So that's nice and easy. And the inverter controls will be there as well. So there we go. So that's my job today. So I've got boxes of cables, I've got my crimping tool, I've got my hydraulic press.
I'm cracking on with some editing, and then later on today, our friends Kirsty and Gary are coming for a cup of tea.
Yeah. So I'm off to do that. Lee's going to get some editing done, and he'll keep nipping out and show you what I'm up to. Right, 10 minutes in. I bought a pack of battery lugs from Amazon, 100 in them. It's got 5 of one type in, and I need about 15. So we're on our way to City Electrical Factors in Bridlington just to pick up another 15, and then I've got to get back and start making them. I've actually done the first 2. I'll show you when we get back, which was an absolute nightmare because these things don't have any the openings usually fan out at the end so you can get the wires in and then put them in. These are just straight ended, so when you try and get it over you get stray wires, and it's been a frigging nightmare. Anyway, I've sorted it.
I thought I'd just come for the drive.
Lee's trying to get a bit of fresh air because it's nice and sunny outside. It's like 20 degrees.
I'm trying to catch up on editing because I didn't do any while family was here. But then I came out. Well, I thought I'll come for a 20 minutes drive. I got out. It's like 20 degrees outside. I'm like, what the hell?
Now you want to tell me? You could always come and edit in the van.
Oh no, I really.
Oh no.
But
you could do.
It's such a shame.
Then you'd be there to fetch me a camera when I'm under the bed.
Our friends Vicky and Emma at the Disney Wives have just landed from Florida, and I've just texted them and said, "Bet you can't believe the weather when you walk outside."
Yeah, but to them this is going to feel cold from what they've come from.
I know, but when you get back from Florida, depending on what time you go,
it's usually frosty.
It's usually like cold when you get back home. Yeah. They're going to walk out of Manchester Airport and be like, "Wow, it's lovely."
I know. Still going to feel cold though.
Well, yeah, but
there we go. 3 bags of them, just in case something goes wrong. And no doubt when I get back I'll actually find some in a box somewhere, and I didn't really need them, but I've got them for next time anyway.
Right, what are you up to out here?
Just slicing my fingers open.
Slicing your fingers open?
I'm building this little circuit board and connecting cables to go back into the mega fuse, and then I can get that rigged up.
Mega fuse?
It is.
It's like some amount of transformers, that. Megatron. So have you got all the right tools and everything now?
So far, until I run out of something else, yeah.
At least it's nice weather out here today. It's really beautiful.
These lugs that I got don't fit these posts.
Oh, for frig's sakes. Well, all 15 of them?
Yeah. Well, I've only got 2 posts, but so I'm having to drill the holes in there, and I did it, and it got caught up and it was dragging my finger out thing, and that's what my fingers are all cut with.
Ouch. Right, the lodge is as tidy as I can get it. I've just been in and out as well, taking things out for Nick. So this is as tidy as it can be whilst we have a project going on. So there's things all over the place, but this side is nice and tidy, and our friends Gary and Kirsty are on their way. So they've got a friend in Bridlington, which is not too far away from here, who they've been visiting for the day, and they are going to call here on their way past, and then they're going somewhere else. So Kirsty just texted, we're on the way, and I've got goodies, so I don't know what that means. Maybe a cake or something. When I say cake, I mean bun. A bun. I don't expect visitors to bring cakes. Although, yeah, maybe that's a good idea. All visitors to the lodge should bring a cake. But I meant a bun. She did mention yesterday she might get some scones. Right, just get my shoes on. I'm going to go and see what Nick's up to. Right, so he's not outside the van. So must be doing something in the van. Knock, knock. Gary and Kirsty is on the way.
2 minutes. I've just attacked the bloody inverter out.
Oh, why?
Because there's bolts down this side to get the back off to put the wires in. So I'm back to square one again now.
This is going to take a while, isn't it? I thought a couple of days and we'll be on his way.
You must be joking.
So, yes, Kirsty says she's got goodies.
Oh no, that means diet's off.
I'm sure you can oblige by eating whatever it is she's brought.
I'll force myself.
So,
Right.
I'm sure they'll want
Rock that up for me.
Rock it up.
Just lift it up slightly.
I'm sure they'll want to look around Elvis.
Right.
All done for now? Right, Nick's been forced to come inside because Gary and Kirsty are here. And I just went out to him and he was like, effing this and effing that, I've just effed up.
I did.
You've messed something up, haven't you?
But I thought I'll wait to get round
Oh,
it.
good. So they just arrived and he's screaming in the van. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hello.
We've made Nick come in for a cup of tea,
Yeah.
but he's having a...
I was like, Elvis?
No.
Elvis? Oh, there is Elvis.
Well, it's Alice, isn't it? Not
Well,
Elvis. And
change
Kirsty
the
has
words.
brought some beautiful treats. Ooh.
Bakewell slice and pecan and toffee slice.
Oh, very nice.
Oh, man.
Very nice. And you've just been for fish and chips.
Fish and chips in bread, yeah.
very
Very
nice.
nice. And then we've come to look at the beautiful lodge.
Yeah.
VIPs.
Kirsty's just presented these to us as well. She left them in a car. Homemade as well. I might just nick the chocolate eggs off them.
Well, if you do, that's yours.
I love coconut buns.
Me too.
Can you remember you used to have coconut and you used to have like they used to squirt jam inside them?
Yeah,
I bet it'd be nice with a
so.
blob of raspberry jam, you know, that little jam.
Yeah.
But it'd be nice with them.
I'll have that after tea. Right, Gary and Kirsty's on their way. Lovely to see those guys. I'm just sort of vlogging from down here. The start over Elvis, just to see what the vlogging view is going to be like. That's Nick's favourite bed now, under bed. Sat in bed doing all stuff. So
I've made a school by error and I'm pissed off.
he's done something wrong. What have you done wrong?
Made a cable when it actually should be made longer and it's too short. So I'm going to redesign the way that I'm doing it. So it may work out better actually. We'll see. Right, we're getting there. So I've had to take the batteries out because I dropped some bloody screws down that hole. So I had to take all the batteries out to find them. So in effect, this is the first cable that goes into the inverter, which goes into... so this basically comes off the battery. It goes into this dead switch, power on, power off. It goes into a 500 amp fuse. Then it goes into the inverter. There's also a split off on this, the other side of the fuse, that goes into a 40 amp fuse for the 12 volt system. Now the van has already got a 12 volt system, but I'm going to connect the solar up to here. And that'll then feed back through the cable where I'm going to put the van's existing system onto one of these ports, and then the last one will be a spare for maybe when we get Starlink or something like that. So it's fused to death. Now I need to put the batteries back in and run the negative cable from the inverter to the battery, and then from the battery to the bus bar there. And then all we have to do is connect the van's power network up to that one, and it should take over what the other one's doing.
I understood every word of that.
Can you count them then?
Is it time for you
Tea?
to call it a day?
No, absolutely no
It's
way.
5:30.
No way, I'm going to finish this tonight. Right, so this can be... This is the stiffest cable ever. This can be connected up to here, along with that. this lined up, but done. And then this connected up to, let me just loosen that once it's up to there, like that. People are going to be thinking, is it not going to get any electric shocks? It's 12 volt DC, it's the same as putting a 12 volt battery, a 9 volt battery on your fingers. You're just not going to feel it. Well, I won't necessarily put my tongue on that, because it's going to be a nice impactful flow of energy. Right, so that goes to the inverter. So to follow it through now, power from the battery comes from here and goes into the switch. It's powered on. It goes through a... Why did it just flash? Oh, it was that. It goes into the switch, then it goes back out through here and into the inverter, and then I need to create a black one, which I've done one end on. Goes into the inverter and connects up to this on the opposite battery, and then I just need to run a small cable like this one down here to connect to this, and that should power the inverter up, and then we can put the AC in and the AC out and all that kind of stuff. But I need you to go get me the inside of the Rhenology box. There's a remote control, I'm going to need that now. Some heat-proof shielding to go on. And then line it up and you just rotate and it shrinks and seals the connections, because some of them can be a bit sharp. And then it actually melts like a glue stick, like that. And we've made a cable. These are about £15 a cable on Amazon. Right, let me get that connected up. Right, so I'm wiring in what will eventually be linked to the mains input, which I haven't figured out how I'm going to do that yet. But there's a... Yeah, we're going to take it from this socket on the front. This box is actually live at the moment. So we're going to take this cable from the box at the front and take the sockets off and put it on the other port when we get the consumer unit on Wednesday. But for now, I'm just putting all the wires in because there's bolts on the side of this, and I've got to get everything into the inverter before I can lock it down and get it back into position again. So unfortunately, these batteries have got to come out one more time.
Batteries in, batteries out, batteries in, batteries out, batteries in, batteries out.
It is calling it night time now.
We've just got the batteries in, putting a little nut on there, a bolt, and it's fallen down here, and we can't get his hands into it.
It's the second time in an hour that it's done that.
So we're having to
take it all out
again. And we've still not found the bolt. We heard it fall somewhere, but we haven't seen it.
Well, we need it because it's what holds the hub together.
Alright, we're just testing the batteries with the air fryer, and all seems to be good.
According to this, we could run this for 3 hours 46 minutes on that setting
before they went flat,
and then it'll take 14 hours to charge up.
Nick just said let's call it a day, but I said there's no chance you can let it call it a day when there's a problem to resolve.
So the issue is the inverter works fine, so we've got it working. We've put it on a temporary plug socket. There's no input yet because we haven't put a plug on it for shore power, so that's not an issue. And so that'll go into a fuse box, and then that'll connect to the sockets in the van. So that's just a temporary thing. The inverter makes a revving sound, which is absolutely fine. I can understand that if it's got some strain on it, just to cool it down. And it also does it when it starts up, but I think that's completely normal. However, if I look at the BMS on the two batteries, when the inverter's on, it's using one battery over another when it should be completely distributed. The way I've connected them is to basically put positive on one battery and negative on another. So it uses them as one big battery bank, but it's using that over this, and I don't know why.
So that's what you've got to figure out while we're inside. I've got to say as well, this looks like a quality mattress.
We'll call it now.
Yeah, because it's like 7:30 or something now. I'm going to go and start cooking a curry.
Woman.
Right, we're in, and just going to do a very quick chicken curry again, like we had last night, because we enjoyed it and it's nice and quick. Right, Nick's taking over, obviously.
Wait a minute.
And,
You just shouted at me and said,
I asked
it's
you-
not gone thick coming out.
yes, because
So I got up and sorted it.
because I've never done the sauce before, so Nick always does the sauce.
Well, then don't ask me.
Is it? It's not very thick, is it? Try it. Try it.
I've added the rest of the packet in.
Ooh, bloody hell. Well, it should be all right then.
The thing is, you've chopped the onions too fine, so it's a bit
Oh,
mushy.
for goodness sakes!
I like the onions to be like, you know when you have a Chinese and they give you the onions and they're crispy in
Thick
your mouth?
and yeah.
Like big onions. I like them like
Well,
that.
once we've had this, we've got Kirsty's coconut buns to have.
Yeah, let's eat it now then.
Dinner was very nice. If I do say so myself. And now
Ooh,
we have coconut buns.
I want a bit of raspberry jam with mine.
Reading manuals. Well, I'm not putting raspberry jam on it. I can't be bothered. So I really fancy the coconut one. In fact, I might just have both. Bugger it. So that she did a coconut one, homemade as well. She said coconut, but then there's ones with mini eggs.
Oh, oh,
That's yours.
it's just collapsed under the heat.
Yeah, it's a bit warm in here to be fair.
Oh, it's Cadbury's though.
Oh,
Have yours collapsed?
I see what you mean. It is very warm in here. Should have put them in the fridge.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
So,
Raspberry jam?
have you stopped thinking about it now?
No, not at all. We're maybe a couple of days. I mean, me consumer unit has been shipped. The issue of the batteries, one depleting more than the other and the usage on it, is because of the resistance and the chemical construction of the battery. I've been talking to Ben, a friend of ours who was an electrician, and he's explained the resistance, and I've just got jam on my arm. So, it should sort itself out. But I must say, I bloody love the fact that the batteries have got like a BMS on it, the eco-worthy batteries. 280 amp hour, it's like a brand new product. A lot of other people have started doing them as well. But because the solar is bifacial and these are the same brand, they all kind of work together.
For all our regular viewers that don't like all this technical jargon,
Tough.
I apologise. And I know most of you are here for just seeing what food we eat, so...
Ooh, look at that, raspberry jam on coconut. I'm telling you.
What made you want that on coconut?
Because usually when you get coconut buns, they have jam squirted inside.
Clutched at your fingers, blood.
I've cut my fingers to bits today. Ooh, I'm going to break through the icing.
We'll go back to watching Star Trek. Right, it's a while later. Just been catching up on The Boys, Season 4 on Amazon Prime. It's absolutely rubbish, this Season 4. So if you've enjoyed The Boys, Season 1, 2 and 3, waiting to get to Season 4, it's absolute rubbish. I'm glad I've got through it, actually. It was one of those hard to get through series. Anyway, that's it. No more series for me. I've got to crack on catching up with the editing and stuff like that this week. So I'm off to bed, so I'm going to finish the vlog. Here's Sleepyhead, who's already been to bed.
I'm not sleepy.
Oh,
My mind is going mental.
Thanks
Reading
for watching today,
diagrams
guys.
and
Hit the like button.
working through
Click
things
the
and stuff.
notification bell and drop us a comment below.
I'm speaking.
And come back on the next vlog to see more upgrades.
Let me bite your ear.
No.
Please.
No. More upgrades with Elvis.
Melvis.
Elvis. We might even go and get some bedding for him as well.
Not until the electrical upgrades are done.
See you on the next vlog.
If everything turns up tomorrow and everything's now been shipped, including Starlink and the consumer box, if that turns up tomorrow, we should, touch wood, be up and running tomorrow night.
Bye.
Bye for now.
See you on the next vlog.